A comment coming from Rahul Gandhi on the present coronavirus. He has tweeted and taken a jibe at the Union Health Minister, saying that while the government is saying that coronavirus crisis is under control, the government is talking like the captain of the Titanic, telling passengers not to panic as his ship was sinking. Now, it's the time that the government made public an action plan which is backed by solid resources to tackle the crisis. So Rahul Gandhi is saying that at present, right now, the Indian government is not really ready to tackle the menace if it further spreads. Pallavi is with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, yesterday there was a visit to the riot-affected areas. Today, this tweet coming in on coronavirus. Is Rahul Gandhi finally back in action?
Well, he is, Anusha, but his latest tweet is also something which can invite criticism because the fact is that the government is actually giving almost daily accounts on what are the preparations which are being made by them. And of course, it's a job of the government also to tell people, reassure them that there's no need to panic, we are in control. You cannot look like a government which is not in control, and that's the job. And there are detection centers being set up, there are isolation wards being set up. Now, Rahul Gandhi making this comment will certainly, I'm sure, invite criticism from the BJP that why are you running down the government when it's putting its best foot forward? It's a new virus, it's an unknown area, and therefore everyone is grappling for answers. It's not just India, but across the world. No vaccination, no medicines, none of them have been confirmed.
Going forward, is this going to be the official line that we'll see from the Congress leaders or the Congress party? Because so far everyone has abstained from pointing fingers at each other when it comes to coronavirus and the crisis which is coming in India. Everyone has tried, especially the state government and the central government, to cooperate as much as possible. So what is the tone and tenor in the coming time?
Well, I mean, till now, everyone in the Congress has largely been very, very careful because, this is not a time where I guess you want to do politics.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember in Rajya Sabha also when Dr. Harsh Vardhan spoke, Ghulam Nabi Azad spoke also just after that, and he was actually alerting about the measures which need to be taken. And in fact, this video coming out of the parliament where, he's interacting with, say, Jairam Ramesh or Vivek Tankha and saying that let's do namaste, use hand sanitizers. So no one is here criticizing the government. Now, if Rahul Gandhi has made the comment, it will be interesting to watch whether the rest of the party will also start doing that, because I think in these moments of crisis, when almost every political party does understand that a certain amount of restraint is required.
And
but
Pallavi,
as a leader,
no, please go ahead.
And if a leader sets that cue, will the rest of the party also fall in? That's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and it also reminds me of the fact that health is essentially a state subject. So while the union government will have to, fuel the resources, make sure that there are centers around, help the state governments as much as possible, screen the international airports, a lot of liability will also be on the state governments. And Congress, though not at the center, is administering a lot of states right now.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Anusha, because the centre can only issue guidelines, the broad parameters, for example, issue orders that you have to do checking of and frisking of international passengers and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, the implementation will have to be on ground zero. And that's why, this need for the positive federalism, the need for a proper sync or organ coordination between the central and the state governments without playing politics into it becomes even more imperative.
All right. RP Singh of the BJP is with us on the broadcast. Thank you for speaking to us. Rahul Gandhi has a comment about the preparedness of the Indian government when it comes to tackling coronavirus. He is basically arguing that instead of merely giving us assurances, give us a detailed plan of action. Tell us how much resources you have. What is your thought on that?
The problem is that he doesn't speak in the parliament. He never utters a word in the parliament. He's a parliamentarian. He should have spoken in the parliament. He only tweets. He thinks go around only on tweet. Secondly, the minister asked for suggestion in the parliament. There's a proper time for that. Mr. Azad spoke in the parliament. Sam Azad speaking in the parliament. But they are above parliament. They think they are above parliament. They can only tweet and then the opposition. So let it be. I mean, we all know it's all. I mean, it's sad that they look into politics, into everything. I mean, in the Ara crisis yesterday, he went for a photo op in the riot-affected area. He never met anyone there. Also, so it's similar to that. He's just looking for some reason to be in media. I mean, some reason he should be spoken or he should be talked about in the media. That's all. I mean, nothing more than that.
Sir,
I mean, he's not clear about any
keeping
issue.
a constructive focus on COVID-19 and how we can help the situation, cooperate with government as much as possible. Are you worried, I'm talking as a citizen to you, that, when it comes at the state level, Delhi, Bombay, maybe, bigger cities may be prepared relatively, but tier 2, tier 3 towns, the state of medical affairs in our country, the population that we have, the limited health resources with government hospitals, God forbid if the virus spreads, it might be an issue for our country.
Well, Government of India is in regular touch with all state health ministers, all state administrations, and is ongoingly updating them what need to be done, what preparedness need to be done, and how serious the threat. I mean, they are already prepared for it, and that's what Health Minister told the Parliament also, that how we are prepared for every eventuality. And it's not that he's saying it being a health minister of the country. He's speaking on behalf of all the health ministers, all states put together.
Right.
And he's in touch with each health minister. But the saddest part is, people like Rahul Gandhi, people like Mamata Banerjee, I mean, they don't see anything beyond politics. I'm so sad that they have to get politics into everything. But they should give out they have something to say, they should say that. If there's some constructive idea, let them share that with them. They also, as health minister, let their former health minister speak something on that.
Right. No, and in all fairness, Dr. Harsh Vardhan has been pretty forthcoming. He had come out, he had made the statements. There were multiple questions that he answered to the press, assured the public at large. So I agree with you that there should be no politics when it comes to coronavirus. There shouldn't be finger pointing because we have to deal with the situation together. How prepared are the state governments? In your assessment, is the centre regularly talking to them? Because health essentially at the end of the day will fall as a state subject. Centre can only help.
I told you, health minister is in touch with the state health ministers and the state administration also, and is ongoingly updating them on what sort of preparedness they have to be ready with, and also in case of what eventuality, what action is to be taken. I mean, that
Right.
health minister also is on record, has said also on that, because that he's regularly in touch with all state health ministers also.
All right. Thank you, Mr. R.P. Singh, for speaking to us on this very important story. Pallavi Ghosh is getting us all the very important details. Stay safe, take all the precautions, don't panic. That's the message coming in.